Hey guys, welcome back to Buzzer to Buzzer. So recently the NFL released their NFL Top 100 Players list. Now, this is a tradition which has been going on for a couple of years now. And usually, you can sort of relate to the first 20 to 100 ranked players. But the top 10 is where it gets really debatable and really interesting. So you can see on the top screen right now how at number 10, they NFL ranked Derrick Henry from the Tennessee Titans. Number 9, Stephon Gilmore from the Patriots. Number 8, DeAndre Hopkins. Number 7, George Kittle. Number 6, Christian McCaffrey. Now here is where it's going to get interesting. At number 5, they had great season, Michael Thomas, wide receiver from the New Orleans Saints. Number 4, they had Patrick Mahomes, the man who just landed a $500 million plus contract from the Chiefs. At 3, they had Aaron Donald. Number 2, Abby's favorite, Russell Wilson. And at number 1, they had Lamar Jackson, the league MVP. Now, guys, I know we got a lot to discuss here, a lot of strong opinions on especially the top 5. Let's get started.
Good. I'm going to go first. I honestly don't think that there's anything wrong with this list. But
What?
Wait. This is hear me out. Actually, okay, I take that back. The one thing I would change, and this might come to a surprise to y'all, is to switch Christian McCaffrey and Michael Thomas. That's it. And I don't really think that there's anything else. Okay, I know you guys are like I'm not saying Pat Mahomes deserves to be at 4. Obviously, I think he's the best player in the league. But if you're looking at 2020, right? Okay, Lamar's like undisputed number 1 in my opinion. Like his 2020 stats just speak for themselves. And with Russell Wilson too, I obviously think that's a good spot for him, being Seahawks fan. And okay, I guess you can say that Mahomes could be 3, but I think Aaron Donald has had a really good year too. And Pat Mahomes, yeah, they won. They beat the 49ers, but I just don't think that his regular season showed that he's the top 3 players in the league.
One thing I'm going to point out real quick is that these ballots are handed off in Thanksgiving. They're given to players to fill out during Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
And so, if you recall, right before that, Patrick Mahomes got injured, and then he lost back-to-back home games right before this happened. And so I think that might have been a reason why he was 4th overall. Obviously, if you take a look at his pedigree in the playoffs, he should have been number 1.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's the only thing I'm going to comment on. Other than that, I think they did a pretty good job with the list. There are a couple of players, obviously, that, you might disagree on, but overall, the top 10, I thought, looked pretty good.
Yeah, and also I just want to add on to what you said already. And yeah, obviously he popped off in the playoffs. They won the Super Bowl. But same thing with the NBA. You kind of get into this debate where how you do in the playoffs determine who wins MVP. And I think that's just like an everlasting argument. And I think that putting him at number 4 I think that's a good thing because it shows that playoffs shouldn't determine the regular season MVP award.
I've always had a grievance with the NFL Top 100 list. I feel like they underrepresent offensive and sort of defensive linemen. I feel like offensive linemen in this league, they never get the love they deserve. Like Quentin Nelson, I think should have been top 15, top 20 for sure, and he got 29th, which is, I guess, fair, but, he definitely deserves to be higher. I think defensive linemen also would fairly deserve to get some more defense, love on the list. I think the list is, very favored towards offensive players, which is why 8 out of the 10 top players on that list are offensive players. I also think DeAndre Hopkins doesn't deserve to be top 10 on that list. I think he's more of a top 15 player. I would rather have players like Aaron Rodgers or Nick Bosa, Julio Jones even, or Drew Brees in that top 10 over DeAndre Hopkins.
I disagree with that. I think that DeAndre, he really proved himself at the later half of the second half of the season. And when you're seeing players like Aaron Rodgers, I just don't think Aaron Rodgers had a great year last year. And just strictly 2020, I don't think that he deserves to be in the top 10. And I guess you can make a case for other players like Nick Bosa, but I think being a rookie kind of, I guess, lowers people's opinions of you as a player. And I think that a rookie in the top 10 is kind of just I guess, pretty rare. And yeah.
I want to bring up a question or a controversy real quick. We saw that Carson Wentz didn't make the top 100, but Dak Prescott got like 40 something. Ryan Tannehill got 50 something, and Jimmy Garoppolo also got 40 something. What do you guys think on that? Does Carson Wentz? Do you think he deserves to be in the top 100?
For sure. Carson Wentz, I think that there's people who on that list I was surprised of, and even if he wasn't, top 50, top 100 for sure, Carson Wentz and the Eagles deserves to be on that list.
All right, so I just want to add something else, Arian, that I truly believe that Carson Wentz got snubbed off the list. When you have Josh Allen on the list with his 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions and his average QB rating of 85.3, and then you have Carson Wentz's stats, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a rating of 93.1. I just think that Carson Wentz deserves better than this, and I think that a lot of players are not giving him the credit he deserves and putting QBs like Josh Allen. Well, I'm not saying that they're not great QBs. I'm just saying that I think that Carson Wentz deserves to be on this list over those players.
Yeah, and I think what Arian said about Jimmy Garoppolo really shows what like a major factor of these rankings are. Like Jimmy Garoppolo, I'd say he's probably 70, 60 range, right? But he was so high on that list because of the success the 49ers were having last season. And I think partially why Carson Wentz wasn't in the top 100 is because the Eagles weren't having that great of a season. Obviously, they were a good team, but they could have played a lot better. And if they were a better 10-6 or 11-5 team, Carson Wentz would 100% be on the top 100.
All right, so how about we let's talk about this. If there was one change which we could make to the top 10 in general, what would that one change be? Arian, I'll start off with you. What do you got for that one change in the top 10?
I'm moving Aaron Donald way down. I don't know who I'd put in to replace him, but I don't think – I mean, he obviously had a decent season, but just by the value of the position of quarterback, I just think that you got to put quarterbacks up there. I don't understand how Aaron Donald can get better than Patrick Mahomes or Drew Brees. I get that he might be a better like in the sense that he might be like a better talent, but by value of position at quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, they're all much better than Aaron Donald.
I'm going to have to contradict what I said earlier because after taking a closer look at this list, I just think that this just needs to be said. I think Christian McCaffrey should be in the top 3, and I think everyone should move down 1 because Christian McCaffrey, he did amazing, broke several franchise records last year, and I just think that just shows that and I think when he didn't win Offensive Player of the Year, I think that's just the last step of complete disrespect to him as a player. He just was insane in the league, even fantasy-wise. And I just think that having players like Michael Thomas, who's definitely one of the best receivers in the league, over him, I still think that McCaffrey deserves to be higher up on the list.
If we were to take the whole season into regard for this NFL top 100 list, the obvious answer would be to put Pat Mahomes at number 1. But honestly, I feel like that Russell Wilson deserves to be on top of Lamar Jackson. Now, I don't know where that exact number is going to go, but I feel like Russell Wilson had it overall. Now, sure, there was a lot of PR following Lamar Jackson, breaking Michael Vick's rushing yards record. But overall, as a player, as a quarterback who supplied his team, I felt like Russell Wilson had a better overall year, and that was obviously evident with the Seahawks record and how well they played. So that's the one change I would make.
All right, so it's actually surprising that when Arian said that the ballots that they fill out are after or before Thanksgiving, I think that's also one thing that can make players vote that Russell Wilson deserves to be number 1, because if you look at his first couple games, he did absolutely amazing. And then you go into the middle of the season, and then he had a couple of games slump, and so it's just if you're looking at just those games, I think that Russell Wilson had the best stats in the league, and he was the best QB in the league for at least 5-6 weeks until the spotlight hit Lamar. So I think Ryan and I that you can definitely make an argument for Russell Wilson at 1.
If I were to make a change to the top 10, I'd also be placing a quarterback over Lamar Jackson, but it wouldn't be Russell Wilson. It'd be Mitchell Trubisky. I really think he's had a phenomenal year. No, I'm just kidding. No, the change I would make would be definitely moving Michael Thomas down lower into the list. Sure, you can make the argument for, as I said earlier, DeAndre Hopkins doesn't deserve in the top 10. But strictly saying within the top 10, I'd probably move Michael Thomas lower in the list, probably under George Kittle.
All right. Well, for sure, this NFL Top 100 always sparks some debates, and, it's going to be interesting to see who will be the best player throughout the season. That is, if the NFL plays. In case you haven't checked out our last video discussing the whole impact of the MLB on the NFL, be sure to check that out. It'll be in the top right-hand corner. But as always, we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode and our reactions and this whole new videos we're trying out with our reactions to the latest NFL news and NBA news. And we hope that you guys like, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.